Welcome aboard the Celebrity Eclipse, where luxury meets adventure on the high seas. Join me on this ship's tour as we explore the stunning dining options, lavish facilities and thrilling entertainment venues. Together we'll delve into every corner of this floating paradise. Welcome to our ship tour of the Celebrity Eclipse, filmed in 2024 on an Antarctica scenic cruise. It is one of Celebrity's Solstice class ships, and since you've got to start somewhere, we're starting at deck 3 with guest relations. For the majority of guests, guest relations provides a one-stop shop for any inquiries that they may have, and this guide is very applicable for an Antarctica cruise. I can't remember when we last contacted guest relations. Normally we talk to our concierge in the retreat lounge. On the other side of the deck is shore excursions, and as the name says, they will assist with shore excursions. What we tend to do is to book our shore excursions as soon as they're available on the app before we leave, and if something changes then we can always cancel up to 24 hours in advance with no penalty. The layout is very similar on all the Solstice class ships, but we found that each of the spaces was somewhat different in the way that it was used and how we used it. This is a prime example. The passport bar, we probably didn't go in a lot when we were on other ships, but it was quite quiet, nice and relaxing, and we tended to go there to have a quiet drink. Sometimes when there are events going on in the grand foyer, it would get absolutely packed, and we then decided to go elsewhere. This is one of those nights where it got really packed, where there was a silent disco going on. And I can assure you they're anything but silent, as people seem to forget that the others can hear them as they sing along full belt to the music. And in the middle of the deck is the grand foyer, a space that during the day occupies a number of different roles. For example, we played safe archery there, but there were also keep fit classes at various times, and in the evening it transforms into a music venue with a rotating number of artists. Moonlight Sonata is the main dining room for the majority of guests. It is spread over 2 floors, the 3rd floor and the 4th floor. We're currently on the 3rd floor. Food is served for breakfast, lunch and evening meal. In the evening there are 2 different forms of dining that can occur. You can either come in at a fixed time, where throughout your cruise you will always come in at that time and sit at the same table, or select dining, where you come in on a first served basis to seat on a time that suits you for that particular day. When we last came to this particular restaurant, we found that the service was impeccable and there was some really good food on offer. In fact, even though we are normally eating in the retreat, we will quite often order off of the main dining room menu, which is an option that's open to us on this class of ship. And that brings us on to Luminae, a restaurant that is dedicated to the suite class guests and one that we use. The name is supposed to invoke themes of light and reflection, and the setting is generally understated. It is open for breakfast, lunch on non-port days when you're at sea, and also for evening meals. There is absolutely no fixed time dining. You can come anytime you want. Two sections to the restaurant, and we prefer this one, which is the rear section, as it tends to be a little bit more intimate. We love the food here, and it's one of the main reasons that we cruise in the retreat class. It has 4 dishes. There's normally a very small taster dish, and then that is followed up by a starter, a main, and a dessert. You can get to the Moonlight Sonata restaurant from either the 3rd floor, or in this case from the 4th floor. As you can see, they both have a similar style of decor. From the 4th floor you get much more a sense of the proportions of the 2-storey restaurant. It can sit about 1,400 guests, and to make it a little bit more intimate, it is segregated into a number of different areas. From deck 4 you get the opportunity to look down onto the grand foyer that we originally saw at deck 3. The Martini Bar and Crush. Crush tends to be a display. It seems to be on all of the Solstice class ships, and just seems to display the sort of liqueurs that are used in the Martini Bar. In the centre of Crush is a refrigerated display. The Martini Bar is normally fairly packed on this ship and other Solstice class ships. You can get a range of cocktails here, Martini based cocktails. I particularly like the coffee cocktail or the sunset cocktail, and they will put on quite a display whilst you're waiting for your drink. The Martini Bar is surrounded by intimate and comfortable seating. A waiter will come round and will take your order, and if you order from the waiter then the drink will be prepared away from the bar, or you can go out to the bar and order there. Also on deck 4 is shops at the Boulevard for those of us that need some retail therapy. Quite often during the cruise they will have promotions. Sometimes those are stalls outside of the main shops where you can pick up a bargain, and sometimes there are specific offers in the shop itself. You can get a number of different types of items, from jewellery to watches to clothing, including celebrity branded clothing, souvenirs including cuddly toys, and again celebrity branded souvenirs such as mugs and models of ships, and there is also a place where you can buy some duty free It's quite nice just to wander around and see what's there, but after a 10-day cruise you tend to find that there isn't much that's changed during the course of the cruise. But maybe you've picked up a special deal because there's one on at that time. Now, on most of the Solstice class ships, opposite the shops at the Boulevard is the photo gallery. This ship, things had changed around, and I'll come on to it later, but I think that's because there was a significant number of less concessions. There's also a sports bar, which can be useful if you're cruising whilst your favourite sports event is going on. Come down here and you may be able to catch up. Certainly on one cruise I was on, I managed to catch up with the F1. The Grand Foyer is 3 stories high, and probably the best deck to get that appreciation is deck 4. Here we have one of the classes that goes on during the course of the day, in this case a fitness class, as viewed from the 4th floor. So we're now at Cellar Masters, which specialises in wines. It's on most of the Solstice class ships, but on the other ships there was a much wider selection from the menu, and there's also a much larger bar than was available on the Eclipse. On the other ships we tended to come here a fair amount, but on this ship, because of the reduction in the number of types of drinks available, less so. All cruise ships have a casino. We don't tend to actually play in the casino at all, but I do love having a wander around and looking at the tables, looking at the machines, and taking in the colourful views. Towards the front of the ship is the entertainment court. A lot of the time this just seems to be a circular space and a way to get to Celebrity Central or the Futurifications, but on occasions we've come along and we've seen that they're running some events. There's a nice set of glass stairs that will take you up to the 5th floor, where you can gaze down on proceedings if you wanted to. Celebrity Central is a small auditorium. On this cruise, we tended to find it is used a lot more for some of the talks that were being given by the specialists, and it was somewhere we went to quite a lot. The other thing to look at, in our case, some of these talks were recorded and then played back on the in-room TV. So the Eclipse Theatre runs shows twice a night, once at 7 o'clock and once at 9 o'clock. It's spread over 2 floors. Quasars is the Celebrity Solstice class nightclub, and during the day it also doubles up as a space for events and games. And if you can't wait to get on your next cruise, then future cruise vacations may be the place for you. We're told that they offer some good deals on cruises, though we've never taken it up. Some friends have. Anyway, here you will find a number of specialist cruise sellers who will sell you your next cruise. And we're now on the 5th floor, and one of the features of the 5th floor is the promenade that runs around the outside of the boat, as you can see here. Inside and at the rear of the ship is an area where a number of specialty restaurants are located. The first of which we will look at will be Blue, which is a restaurant dedicated to Eclipse's Aqua Class customers, and it prides itself on selling a healthy alternative to the other foods that are on the ship. You can also order off of the main dining room restaurant, particularly on the Solstice class. I'm not sure if you could do it on all classes. It is open for both breakfast and for the evening meal. At lunchtime, Aqua Class guests can use the facilities that the other main dining room guests use. It is select dining with no fixed times for any of the meals. The Tuscan Grille is a specialty restaurant where there is an additional charge. It combines traditional Italian and also American cuisine in a unique environment with superb views over the stern of the ship, where you can view the wake while you eat your meal. Like most of the specialty restaurants, it's only open in the evenings, and you can either book as part of a multi-deal or as part of a one-off activity, but you will need to reserve it. Cuisine is one of the smaller specialty restaurants and focuses on a novel experience. It offers both international cuisine and contemporary food. The dining experience on this cruise was Le Petit Chef, and that is one where you get 3D animations of the food being prepared for you that is projected onto the table, and therefore provides you with a unique experience. You can see an example of the 3D animation on our ship's tour for the Solstice, which we did on our Asia cruise recently. We're now in the Ensemble Lounge, and this was a very different experience from what we have had on other Solstice class ships. Usually, particularly around meal times, we would find this space on other ships absolutely crammed, but for some reason on this particular cruise we were able always to find a seat. A great shout out to the bar staff here, in particular Albert. The staff was so attentive, always knew what we were drinking, and quite often would come to the table before we'd finished with a fill-up. Great service. Milano's is my favourite out of all of the specialty restaurants. Yes, it's an additional charge, but the cuisine is absolutely superb. In fact, I particularly love their flambéed lobster. It's a French style speciality restaurant and it has impeccable cuisine, absolutely superb. Here you have two dining options. The classic one is the a la carte and the service is absolutely impeccable. So as an example of that, my flambé lobster was actually cooked and prepared for me at the table, which made a great bit of theatre. Or there is a combined 5 senses experience, which includes wine selection, and that is obviously a much more expensive option that is available. Michael's Club is the lounge dedicated to suite class guests, and it offers a very private experience. It has a concierge as you come in on the left if there's anything that you need or require. On other Solstice class ships which have been revolutionised, which just is Celebrity's term for being updated, it's a much lighter environment and the space is laid out slightly different. But both of them offer relaxation, very good service, and we particularly liked it chatting to the barman, a Jamaican, and he went on to tell us about his cooking back in Jamaica. During this cruise, special enrichment sessions were held for retreat guests in the Michael's Club lounge, which was quite a good experience. At the entrance or exit to the Ensemble Lounge is a space that is uniquely decorated depending upon the Solstice class ship you're on. They all feature artwork and also some piped and original music. So on the upper floor of the Grand Foyer you will find Gelateria, which serves some really gorgeous Italian ice cream. Unfortunately this is at an additional cost, albeit not significant. However, if you're a Captain's Club member of the right tier, they do give you a sample on each cruise for free. You are also next to Cafe El Baccio, which is a very traditional coffee house.
Gentlemen, how are you today?
I'm fine.
What can I get you?
And as well as the coffee, you also get some selection of pastries, and the pastries are really nice and absolutely free. The coffee cost depends on which drinks package you're on. Sushi on 5 is a contemporary twist on traditional Japanese food. It is also a specialty restaurant that is open both at lunch and in the evening. Here you don't pay a fixed cost for a menu, you buy on an individual item basis. So we're now at the world-class bar. Now the thing we find about this bar is it's generally not too crowded and you can normally get a seat and a drink. They do a limited range of cocktails though, so if you're into cocktails it's probably not the best place to come. Now, this area is normally a concession area on virtually every single Solstice class ship that we've ever been on. But for this cruise, and it may well be a regular occurrence, it is being transformed into the art display. Normally I would have expected to have found a number of watch stands selling luxury watches at discounted prices. It doesn't seem to matter what cruise you're on, the artwork is always exactly the same. And now at the Galleria Boutiques area, which tends to be the more luxury and high-end items. You need to check whether or not the item that you're thinking of purchasing can be bought on your cruise credit, or if they expect you to pay on a credit card. In the past, we've actually got caught like this, which isn't good if you're trying to reduce your credit balance before you get off the ship. As you can see, there's a wide variety of luxury items on sale, so you can get jewellery, both for the men and for the women. You can get watches, you can also get clothing, and indeed you could even get a Fabergé egg if you wanted. At the end of the concession stores, there is also a place where you can buy perfumes and makeup. On other Solstice class ships, this area has actually been the art gallery and is displaying a large variety of different art. In this case it was the photo gallery, and that was all focused on one small end of the particular space. Now I must say, we didn't see a single photographer for the whole of this trip. There was no one coming into the restaurant and asking us to pose, so I don't know if there's been a change in the way that the photography is done on the Solstice class ships, or if it was a virtue of the cruise that we were on. There were on the display some photographs from obviously some couples, but it was very, very small. On deck 6 you'll find the multifunctional internet lounge known as the iLounge, and that's equipped with a range of Apple products. You can log in via the Wi-Fi, but you do need to have a Wi-Fi package, and there are also a number of salesfolk who are on hand to assist you in purchasing Apple products that are available. So Team Earth is supposed to actually promote conservation on behalf of Celebrity Cruises and also to inform guests about some of the ways that Celebrity power their ships. In reality, it tends to be used as another space where people can go and relax away from the crowds. It is spread over 2 floors and gives you a really nice perspective. On deck 9 you will find the card room, which is, as you would expect, a place where people can come to play board games or cards. It's a nice space, it's an ideal meeting place, and you quite often find it, well populated. On deck 10 and also extending up to deck 11 you will find the library. There's a small selection of magazines and some books, but most people bring their own and use it to effectively relax, contemplate and read their material. The upper section of the library doesn't ever seem to get busy, and if you really want to find some space, then that's where I would look in the first instance. Nestled at the front of the ship with superb views over the bow is the Relaxation Lounge on deck 11. This lounge is one of those little secret places that we used to quite like coming to when we were travelling aqua class. It's never particularly busy and you get some superb views and you can put your feet up and relax. They also serve some drinks. And if you are in aqua class and you're going to use the spa, you can easily get to the spa from this location through some steps. At the front of the ship you will find the Persian Gardens, which is a steam and sauna space. You will also find the fitness centre where you can go to work out, and you will also find a number of treatment rooms that do everything from acupuncture, a nail salon, a pedicure or a hair salon. Behind the Persian Gardens and the spa area you will find this indoor pool with its high ceilings, glass ceilings. It gives a lot of light in and it has some lovely places where you can relax. There's also the Spa Cafe, which serves a slightly healthier option for food than some of the other grill bars that are available. So again on deck 12 and in the middle of the ship is the main pool area, which includes the pool bar, which will serve you drinks if you so desire. Now there's some areas that are undercover here if you want to get away from the direct sun. But if you really like to get out into the sun, there's a range of chairs and also lounges that are available to you. And towards the back is a small stage where you will find entertainers at regular intervals during your cruise. Accessible either via the internal lifts or from some steps towards the rear and sides of deck 12 is deck 14, and deck 14 is the home of the Oceanview, which is Celebrity's buffet. In the Oceanview there is a wide range of different foods that is available. There's always something to appeal to everybody. We don't tend to eat here, and the main reason is we don't trust ourselves to stick to a reasonable portion size with so many goodies on display. The Oceanview can get quite packed at certain times of the day. There are drink stations dotted around on the sides and also towards the back of the ship, where you can get those free drinks that are available to all. And there's also a bar where you can order drinks, but waiters will come round, they will take your order, check which drinks package you're on, and then bring a drink to you. And if you go out the back of the Oceanview, you will come to the Oceanview Bar, and that gives a lovely view over the stern of the ship, allowing you to view the wake and have some relaxation time. You can always take your meal out here if you want, or you can just have a drink served in the bar. On deck 14 you will also find the jogging track, which is marked by a slightly redder orange all the way round the periphery of the pool, which allows you to jog and also to look down on the pool. At one end you will find the Mast Bar and Grill. The grill will provide a number of fast food items for you to eat at the usual times of the day, and the bar serves drinks. There's a smoking section to one side of the Mast Bar for those of you that smoke. And at the front of the ship on deck 14 you will find the Sky Observation Lounge. Here you can, during the day, take part in a number of events that are arranged, such as bingo and other quiz type games. In the evening you will find that there is quite often a performer up here, and you can get some really nice cocktails as well, all whilst looking over the expansive oceans that you'll see both in front of you and to both sides. It's also one of the few places where it really feels like you're cruising. From here you can get up to deck 16, which on the revolutionised ships is actually dedicated for retreat guests. On this ship it contains the Solstice deck. At the front of deck 15 there is a basketball court. Now it's not something that I would have thought would have appealed to the vast majority of celebrities' guests. I don't think I've actually seen it used that often when we've been here. one of the features of the Solstice class ship is that they are one of the few ships that have an actual real life lawn whilst they're at sea, and you can see some of the things that people get up to there. On other cruise ships we've actually had cabanas on the lawn that you could hire, and fortunately they did not seem to be on the Eclipse for this cruise. Hot glass cars is a feature of the pre-updated Solstice class ships, where a cruiser can make their own glass ornaments and then purchase them to take home. So you can either enjoy making one yourself, or you can just sit and watch how it is done. There is a fee for doing this, as it is not included in the cruise. Please join us on our next vlog, where we will be going to Ushuaia to see some penguins and some sea lions on a catamaran cruise.